Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Nature Journal. I'm having a quiet day today and I'm spending it mostly at home, although this morning I needed to go to the post office. So of course I went through the wetlands to feed the robins. I'm starting to get to know their characters a little bit better now. There's one that's practically on your hand as soon as you step onto the path. That one kind of seems to sort of wait around for anyone to feed him. Then there's a few more that are a little bit shy, like this one who only wanted to feed from my hand, as long as his feet were firmly on the branch. Now I'm back in the studio, and I don't really feel like painting today, but I can still do something really creative. I'm going to take a little look in here and see the flowers that I pressed in the first week of January. It's now been about 3 weeks that they've been in the press, and it's about time to take a look and see how they've come out. If they're ready, I'll be able to start putting them into my nature journal. So it's these ones down at the bottom. So these ones, these are my gallium. They're not quite ready yet. Now it looks as though they've pressed all right. I can kind of see the shapes of them. Not too bad. These ones are the celandine. And these are the ones that I want to have a look at now. So I've got my tweezers so I can carefully lift them. This has actually come out really beautiful. You can still see the little blotches on the celandine leaf, and you can see the vein structure of it. I'm so pleased with that. Now I've pressed several of them, so I've got spares in case anything happens to them. These ones are my Herb Robert. You can even see the little hairs on these leaves. So I'm going to put those out on a separate piece of paper so that I've got them ready to use in my journal. That has come out absolutely stunning. How delicate and intricate that structure is. So I'm gonna do this one today because this page is done. Otherwise, I'm not going to be making any more mess or trying to write over the top of them. So they should be quite safe here. I'm just going to try laying some down. There is an element of not knowing how it's going to turn out, because when you press the flowers, the leaves or flowers or whatever matter you've got, you never quite know how it's going to come out of the press in the first place. You don't know whether it's going to work or not. You don't know precisely how it's going to be when it's flattened out and how it's going to look. So that's where the element of sort of freedom comes in, because there's certain things that you're leaving to chance. That looks kind of how I imagined it. I'm very happy. So when I lift these, I'm trying not to put too much pressure on them. I don't want them to be squashed. So it's almost kind of balancing it on the tweezer really. Now I'm just going to flip them over so they're the opposite way to what I want them on the page. Now I've got a little bit of, this is EVA glue. It's essentially a similar sort of thing to PVA. It tends to be used in bookmaking. That's the kind of glue that I have around. To just use a little corner of my palette for this. I just want to water the glue down a little bit. And this is where you want to be really careful with it. Really careful. So I'm pretty much like just dabbing it onto the underside of my leaf, really gentle. But I want to get as good coverage as I can, especially on the stems, because it's really important that the stems do stick down all the way to the edges of the leaf. This is why we're on some paper towel here. And I'm using another paper towel to press it into place. So it's important that I'm doing this on a page that I'm not going to use again. It's a finished page. so I'm not going to be messing around with this too much now. Now, in order to keep everything neat and tidy, I'm going to add some more of this glue and glue this flap down. Have you ever used pressed flowers in your journal? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And as always, please do like and subscribe. It's always good to know that people are regularly watching my content. Now the next thing I want to do, water this glue down a little bit more, add a little bit more water. So I've got the watery glue again. Now importantly, this stuff does dry clear, but you want to have it in a very thin layer. Now by putting it back over the top of the leaf, it's acting as a like a varnish and a preserver. And you just want to make sure that it's a really thin coat, because you don't want to obscure those lovely colours of the leaf, but we do want to make sure everything's really protected. So you'll notice this is patient work. All of that patience that you develop outside waiting for the birds to come, it's the same patience that you'll use when you're doing this sort of work in your journal. There we go. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.